Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Special Sessions Live. We're about to get started here. I'm going to send Cole an invite. Tonight's guest is Cole Gilbert of Scowl. We're going to talk about all kind of fun shit, and I'm really stoked for this because Scowl is one of my favorite bands that has come out in the past 10 years. Easily, like automatically, one of my favorite bands. So we're going to send him an invite. We're going to get him on. We're going to get this shit started. And yeah, this is going to be an exciting time. So let's see here. Oh, there he is.
Hello.
What's going on, Cole? How you doing, my
I'm
friend?
doing well. I'm just hanging out at home. The weather's been insane in the Bay for the last few days. We're
Yeah,
supposed to have a huge rainstorm over this next week, so I'm just hanging out inside doing
yeah.
nothing.
Yesterday we had like a Pittsburgh version of a tornado. Like the winds got up to like 65 miles per hour, and it was like, what the hell? Luckily, like I was getting home from work. I was right
Yeah.
outside of my house before it hit, but shit was crazy. It was
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
nuts.
I mean, thank God we don't get those out here, but I'm still, we're
Yeah.
technically overdue for an earthquake, so
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. Your whole state is gonna break off into the
Oh
ocean
yeah.
and it's just gonna
Yeah.
float away. But
Yeah.
it'll be okay. You guys will be fine.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We're already disconnected from the rest of the country, so it's fine.
Yeah. I love California. We'll get to that later because I do want to bring up Bay Area, Santa Cruz area. We will cover that. But
Yeah.
for now, let's get to it, man. 3 years anniversary of How Flowers Grow, man. That is fucking
Yeah, it's crazy when I'm pretty and amongst everyone in Scal, I'm the one that's the best with like remembering like specific dates like that.
Mhm.
Um and I knew it the second of the day, like it was like that morning, and I just kind of,
Mhm.
I forgot to make any sort of note of it, and so I don't think we posted anything on Instagram about it until like 8 p.m. that night.
Yeah.
But it's crazy that it's been 3 years. I mean, we recorded that album in over the pandemic, like that
Mhm.
summer, like it was like June or July or something of 2020. So
Mhm.
technically, we've like had that record for over 4 years,
Yeah.
but the world's only known it for three.
Okay.
Yeah, that record has it's gotten us much farther than I ever thought it would.
Yeah, I mean it's a tremendous album and I mean you guys and maybe a small handful of other bands just came out of the pandemic just swinging.
Yeah,
Like it was like on like right away and that is for music fans and concert goers. I can't express how exciting that was for that whole just to break out.
yeah. I mean, it was just as exciting for us too, because like, I mean, Malachi who
Mhm.
plays guitar in
Mhm.
Scowl, him and I had played in a different band prior together. And we had already always tried to like be an active touring band. We were constantly making plans, and
Mhm.
things just kept falling through. And
Mhm.
we got lucky when we started Scowl, like with the core four people that started
Mhm.
it, or three people plus when Bailey joined, is that everyone was just kind of so on the same page of just hitting the road.
Right.
And we toured three times in our first year as a band, and we weren't going to stop, like, if the pandemic had never happened. So it was like very obvious as soon as shows were able to happen again that we were going to be
Yeah.
hitting it as quickly as we could. And yeah, now now here we are.
Yeah. And you guys haven't stopped.
No, this is like right now what we're like. This is like our first big break from shows in a long, like say in the last 3 years. Like
Wow.
right,
Yeah.
we've been home since the beginning of August, and while we're doing a few shows next month, we're not like back on tour until February. So like it's
Yeah.
like a solid like 5 or 6 months of just like actually like recuperating, and
Yeah.
It's been very necessary because as much as we love touring, it's exhausting. It takes a
Oh, of
toll on
course.
us.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean it is not an easy, attractive lifestyle, no matter what level or comforts you have. I mean, it is just that thing.
Yeah, no, it really is. It's not all it's hopped up to be, that's for sure. Like talking to family or talking to, if I'm getting my hair cut and the person's like, "Oh, what do you do?" I'm
Hmm.
not gonna be rude and hide. Like I'll tell them, and people are like, "Oh, that must be like that's the coolest thing in the world. Like you must have so much fun. You get to see all these places." And like, yeah, it is really cool, but like,
Hmm.
no, we really don't. Like I get to see a place from a van as we drive for 8 hours every day.
Right, right. And then there's the hours before the show where you're just waiting around, depending on where you are in the
Yeah.
sets, just walking, pacing around, and then but I mean I I made it a point. I think it was 2022 that winter. It was right after I saw the show from the Sonic in New Jersey right after Hate Five
Yes.
Six
Yeah.
put that out. I watched that like pretty much the whole fall and winter, and I think it was Christmas Day, I saw you guys were touring with Jesus Piece and hitting Chicago,
Yep.
and I was like right away, like, all right, I know what I'm buying myself for Christmas. I just bought the plane ticket, bought the concert ticket, booked the
That's
hotel
sick.
room. No, I broke my rule of not going to Chicago before like May or April because the weather's always shit and you don't know what
Mm,
you're gonna get. You
yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. Really quick,
Sure.
I'm wearing a Weezer hoodie right
Okay.
now. I keep seeing people
Very
post.
cool.
I keep seeing people post in the live responses like "spill out your Weezer." I'm like, I'm wearing it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got that
man.
thing on me. No, I mean, especially Chicago. Like,
Yeah.
my best friend actually lives there, and
Hmm.
he's always telling me about that shit. He's always telling me about how fucking crazy weather-wise it can be, and I'm knock on wood. I am so thankful that like we've never been there when it's been like insane. Like it's been
Yeah.
cold for sure, but
Yeah.
like we've never been in like a Chicago blizzard. And
Yeah.
so thankfully for both of us, the weather for that show was actually pretty tame. It actually
Yeah.
wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next day, I flew out probably the next afternoon is when the snow started to hit. It was one
Yeah.
of the worst like takeoff flights I've ever had. It was
Shit.
just so shaky and
Yeah.
bumpy and like that shit usually doesn't bother me, but that was probably one of the roughest flights to get out of a city because like you just felt the storm was coming.
Yeah. You guys were probably one of the last flights to take off if it was that rough.
Yeah, yeah. That afternoon, and I think that evening things got a little worse, but I got out of there okay. But let's keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Another thing I have to say, and this is like a compliment more than anything, is like, I mean, I've been going to concerts since I was a little kid, like 11 years old, 12 years old. So that's almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
And the one thing I could always gauge about a band's trajectory and their upward movement is like if you wear a shirt or a merch item in public and people stop you and comment, that's the band to be.
Yeah.
So I've had a couple of your caps and I wore one of them for off and on for about a year and I can't count how many people from traveling all over stopped me and were like, "Yo, that's a sick fucking hat. Like that band fucking rules." Like everybody, like anywhere I went. So I really that is so awesome, and it is awesome for you guys because
Yeah.
that to me that's the way you gauge what's hot and what's going on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and that feeling is like I can't even express. That's like the coolest feeling in the world. Like it's like
Yeah.
like here it from you, and actually, funny enough, to bring him up again, my best friend, his name's Hendrik. He plays in Buggin and in Still
Okay.
and
Oh yeah,
like
Buggins
a
sick as
million,
hell.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, 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 a million other Chicago bands. But no, he would always tell me, he's like, dude, I'm at this show, and there's like 200 people here I don't know, and 10 people are wearing Scowl shirts, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And it's like, and it's crazy to me because it's like, I don't know, like I never thought I'd be in any bands that anyone would even care to buy our merch, let alone
Hmm.
wear it out and have it be complimented or compliment other people
Yeah.
wearing it. So it's cool. I mean, I even like I have like interactions. My family tells me about stuff that happens with them all the time. Like
Hmm.
they'll just be talking to someone randomly and like, oh, my little brother plays in a band, and they'll
Hmm.
say it, and they're like, and either them or like someone in the family, someone in the room is like, I fucking love that band, and I'm just
Oh
like, that's
yeah.
crazy. It's I don't know.
Oh yeah.
It's something I'm still not used to, and it's I don't know. It's cool. I
Yeah.
appreciate it like so much.
Yeah. You guys are too busy working. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah, yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's truly nonstop. It's yeah,
But that's got to be so exciting at the same time too, like you said. It's and as a fan of music, it's every so often a band comes around and like makes you feel like, oh, cool, like there's a new band out and I'm excited about this. And for me now, I hate to sound old, but it sometimes you hear a band and you're like, yo, I feel fucking like a teenager again hearing this shit. And
yeah,
like you guys fit, you're right in there. Like there's like it seems like every 5 years a band will roll around and come and just be like, okay, this is the shit,
yeah,
and it's not always the most technical or the most like progressive or wild or inventive. Sometimes it's just that grit and that intensity that you're like, okay, this is what music feels like. With you guys though, you guys have so much swag too. Like you got the grit and the swag, so you all got so much going for you. And yeah, I can't talk highly enough of you guys for real, and your
thank you.
ethic, your work ethic.
Thank you. I
So,
mean, that's something that we strive to have in all aspects is
mhm.
grit, swag, and ethic. And
Yeah,
I can't describe a better way to explain how Scowl wants to be presented, you know?
yeah,
And I think over the years that we've maintained that, and I hope we continue to maintain that.
oh
I really
yeah,
appreciate that. Thank
oh
you.
yeah. Got the new single that just dropped. I mean, I know
Yep.
you're talking about you guys are taking some time off, but you're still putting out music.
Yeah, we're like we're taking time off from touring, but we're
Yes.
still I mean we're working from home, you know.
Okay.
We're still doing stuff. We you know, we're shooting videos,
Hmm.
we're doing all the behind the scenes stuff of, you know, things that need to be done with new music and whatnot. We did just sign with Dead Ocean, so there's been a lot of stuff that we've
That's
been working on with
cool.
them. There's just been, you know, it's necessary time to do the behind the scenes stuff because otherwise we'd be doing it while on tour
Hmm.
and it wouldn't get the attention it deserves and it wouldn't, you know, it would just kind of I feel like we owe it to both us and the people who enjoy our music to like
Hmm.
put our best foot forward.
Oh,
So yeah,
oh
I mean
yeah,
it's like we're not touring but we're still, you know, we're still there's stuff to be
yeah.
talked about every single day.
Nice, nice. The video is really cool too. Can you give me some
Thank you.
insight on how that was all thrown together? I mean, it came out
Yeah.
right around Halloween, so it was really perfect the way the video was done.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was. I honestly, the fact that it came out around Halloween wasn't even fully intentional. At least
Mhm.
not to my not to my knowledge. But we worked with the director. Um, oh my God, I literally I was like, oh, you're talking to me about this. I know what I'm about to say, and then I just Silken Weinberg. So I don't even
Okay.
need to look up the video to know that Silken Weinberg. We worked with her and we it was her treatment on the video and we yeah we just like we loved it and we you know we discussed a couple things with it. We worked it out to where it kind of fit everyone's interest in it. Like it was a really cool collaborative effort, and we shot it all the day before or 2 days before. It was around the time that we went down to Joshua Tree
Okay.
to play that Thrasher Deathmatch show with
Oh, cool.
Speed, Too
Mhm.
Short, all crazy ass lineup.
Yeah, that
But
was that. I saw flyers for that through. That was another one of those, like, speed, you guys, and then it was like, and too short,
yep,
like, for real.
Hotline TNT, Poison Ruin, fucking
Hmm.
it was such a dope lineup. It was such
Yeah.
a good day. But yeah, no so yeah, we shot the video just like right before we went and did that, and it was really cool. It was a really awesome new experience because in the past we've done all of our videos all of ourselves. Like
Hmm.
Malachi has been the director for every video. We've sourced cameras, equipment, actors, whoever's in the video. We just sourced it by being like, "Hey, you're our friend and you know how to do this. Do you want to help us out? We can't pay
Yeah.
you." And it's
Yeah.
just people doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
Um, it's when we've done. I like all of our videos that we've done even prior to that. I think we did a good job, but um, see, it's this time around we just wanted to try it out, and really worked out with Silken. We
Hmm.
got along really well. Everyone was really into the treatment, and I think the video turned out really well. Like
Oh, yeah.
I unfortunately, as I said in a message previously, I'm like the one of the only people in the band that like doesn't. I'm not like a horror head by any
Okay.
means. Like I've seen a few of the
Yeah.
classics. I've
Mhm.
seen like Evil Dead. I've
Okay.
seen Hellraiser and stuff, but like
Okay.
I don't like go out of my way, but like it's I love the campy horror aesthetic. Like I
Oh,
love
yeah.
how it turned out. Like it's super it worked out. It's like the whole like dramatic zoom in
Hmm.
and like the extra gore.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was we shot the whole thing in one day,
Yeah.
and it was just nothing but fun. It was a really good day,
Yeah.
and I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah. That's usually how those magic things go. It's just like,
Hmm.
this is a good time,
Yep.
whenever there's fake blood flowing around,
Yeah. I mean, come on.
it's like the most sticky substance on earth and ruins like everything. But
Oh
in the
my, yeah.
moment, it's
In the
really
moment, it's
fun.
so cool.
Yeah.
I'm also, I feel bad because my character in the video gets killed, and
Mhm.
I'm so thankful that Silken even asked me, but so she's like, "Are you comfortable with getting fake blood on your
Mhm.
clothing?"
Right.
And I happened to be wearing a vintage Sugar shirt, and I was like, "I'm so sorry, but no, like I don't have a shirt to
Yeah.
change into. Like this is I
Yeah.
can't get fake blood on this." So
Yeah.
we made it all work, but
Yeah.
originally it was supposed to be like I was also supposed to get spattered, but
Mhm.
it worked out and it looked great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the magic of editing too,
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, let's take a step backward. I know I brought the show up before, but the show at the Sonic parking lot in New Jersey,
Yeah.
like, can we talk about that? Like, tell me some memories. Like, how was that who threw that together?
Yeah.
And like, to me, it was just like, that was one of the craziest yet fitting, like, just exciting shows
Yeah.
I've ever like watched, and it was like one of those moments where, like, oh god damn it, I wish I was there, you know.
It was a really it was a really cool and crazy day.
Hmm.
So we technically we weren't even on the lineup. It was not our show by any
Hmm.
means. It was if I remember correctly, it was Gel,
Hmm.
Chemical Fix,
Hmm.
Exhibition, and Phantom, and I maybe there was one other band, but I cannot remember off the top of my head right now. But we were like a special guest, and the only reason why we were like even able to do it is because we were recording Psychic Dance Routine at the time,
Hmm.
and I think we had either just finished or we had like one more day of recording to go. But somehow we got in contact with whoever,
Hmm.
and they were like, "Hey, you should just." It might, you know what? Now that I think about it, because it was also directly before Mikey joined the band.
Hmm.
Um, but we were staying at his house every day while we were recording
Hmm.
because it's just cheaper, and he drove us to the studio like half the days. Um, and he would just hang out with us at the studio. Like it was so funny. Like we all kind of knew he was going to be in the band at that point, but
Hmm.
like he didn't know the songs to record them.
Hmm.
Anything. He was just, but he was there.
Yeah.
And since Chemical Fix was playing, it was probably work sort of like figured out through that. So and again, I don't remember exactly how we even got on.
Hmm.
Um, I don't unfortunately know the name of the person that threw the
Okay.
show, but I
Okay.
do know I think they worked at that Sonic. And I know it wasn't the only show to even happen at that Sonic. I think that was the
Okay.
second show there. I don't know what the first show was, but I think it was like the second show at that Sonic, and it was just like we were there, and it was like, hey, we're there. I remember like a couple months prior seeing the flyer for that show and being like, no fucking way are y'all throwing a show at a Sonic.
Yeah.
Like, what in God's name, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, and then sure enough, we were there and like, do you want to play it? And we're like, fuck yeah. So, we just, before Gel went on, we went up and, they set up all their gear. We hopped on, used their gear, and
Hmm.
just ripped a quick set. And there was like a couple, probably a solid like 200 or 300 people there. And it
Yeah.
was, it was a crazy ass show.
Yeah.
It was hella fun. People were getting litty. It was awesome.
Yeah.
There were some people some longtime friends of mine that long time is in 3 years.
Hmm.
That I met at or 2 years. I met at that show. Like there's people that like I knew online that I had never
Hmm.
met prior. So that was actually it was just a really like across the board. Everything was just awesome. My friend to bring him up again, Hendrik, him and
Okay.
I recorded a demo for a hardcore band, and it was called Force. And this label, they hit me up and was like, "Oh, do you want to print some tapes and shirts?" And I was like, "Yeah, fuck it."
Hmm.
Realistically, I told them, I'm like, "Listen, we have no plans of touring or even playing shows. Like, this is just for fun." But they did it anyway, and I actually
Hmm.
saw someone at that show wearing a Force T-shirt, and I was like, "That's the weirdest thing in the world
Yeah.
to be wearing a shirt of a band that I'm technically in, but also technically doesn't exist." Like it's funny. It's just funny.
Yeah.
I think I remember someone threw a firecracker in Kat's hair on accident. It
Yeah.
wasn't they didn't try to do
Yeah.
it, but they threw it in her hair. And thankfully someone got it out before it went off, but
Yeah.
I watched it land in her hair, and I'm
Yeah.
playing the set. I'm behind the drums. There's nothing I can
No.
fucking do, and I'm just like,
No.
oh shit.
No.
And
That's a
thankfully it
very
was
unforgiving position. You can't be that. You can't like do anything. You know.
There's that I'm at the mercy of the drums in front of me, yeah. And
Yes.
thankfully it was okay.
Yeah.
Thankfully it didn't blow up in
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
her hair. But
Other people
uh
were shooting Roman candles from the bus into the
yep,
crowd,
yep.
firecrackers everywhere. Like I've seen some crazy shows. I've seen some crazy local shows in parking lots or whatever, but never was there like fireworks or firecrackers or anything like that. Yeah, maybe an M80, like I
Yeah.
think at one little like town fair, like all these like local bands were like just doing a show and someone taped an M80 to a stop sign and just blew the fucker off, you
That's
know.
dope.
But other than that, like it wasn't being thrown at the crowd and in the crowd, you
Yeah,
know.
there is I mean on the topic of there being fireworks not only at a show but being shot at the show,
Mhm.
at the people in the show,
Yeah.
that kind of reminds me of the second show that we played post pandemic. It wasn't the RBS show with Gulch and Tsunami and Drain.
Mhm.
Gulch did play this one. It was us, Gulch, Section Hate, Dead City, Spy. It was Spy's first show.
Sick.
Um,
I just saw them
but
last week for the first time, by the way.
they, I miss them. I miss those guys. Some of my best friends. I played drums for the first few records.
Okay.
And unfortunately, when it came time for Spy and Scowl to get busy, I can't be in two places at once. So
It's absolutely.
I have nothing but love for those guys, and the tour that they're on right now is fucking so sick. Like I'm
Yeah,
so
it
stoked for
is.
them.
It is. It
But
is. It was a
and
fun night.
and I can say now as someone who's not in that band that they are that the live band is a force to be reckoned with.
Oh yeah.
That is for goddamn sure. But at that show, there was like a giant bonfire and people uh there was like destroyed cars that people were lighting on fire, and people
Yes.
also had like fireworks and stuff. And I actually have a couple friends that still wear shirts that have burn holes in them because they got shot with Roman candles. Like it's
Nice.
it was that was a crazy ass show. It was a wild day.
Absolutely. I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean, it's danger's always, sometimes danger's great from a distance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, but hey, it's rock and roll. What are you gonna do? Like you need danger. It's authentic, it builds character.
It really does. It truly does.
Yeah. So okay, so we're gonna have some fun here for the next topic.
Let's do
I
it.
need you to play like Bay Area plus Santa Cruz tour guide.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so say I'm coming to the Bay Area.
Hmm.
Uh, like okay, where do I go for coffee? Where do I go for lunch? Where do I go for dinner? Where's the good record shops? Just shout out whoever you can. I'll take
Yeah.
note of it.
Okay. So let's see.
Most
God, for
important, coffee.
coffee.
Most
Yeah, I mean,
important.
coffee is how you're starting the day.
Yeah.
It really all depends on what part of the Bay you're in. Because
Mhm.
if you're in South Bay, East Bay, San Francisco, I got a bunch of different recommendations. If you're in San Jose,
Okay.
hit up my top three would
Okay.
be Academic in downtown San Jose,
Okay.
Chromatic, also near downtown San Jose, and like on kind of like the Willow Glen border, and then Tono Coffee. He is a single man setup who does pop ups, and
Oh, nice.
it's some of the best coffee I've ever had in my life. Still to this
Oh,
day,
awesome.
he's a sweetheart and is just doing it for the love of the craft, and
Hell yeah.
you can taste it. If you're in the East Bay, um, fuck. Well, the answer I would have had. Um, there's this coffee shop it closed down unfortunately back in February or March, but
Hmm.
it was down the street from my house here, um, and it was called Vivos, and it was a vegan coffee shop, and they had like vegan conchitas,
Hmm.
cafe de olla. It
Nice.
was so goddamn good, and it just one day was just gone, like really just up and disappeared. But to go a different East Bay recommendation, there's a coffee cart that is only opened on Saturdays and Sundays that is close to where I live, and it's
Okay.
called Mars Coffee. I go there basically every Saturday and Sunday, and I love
Okay.
it. It's a very like it's kind of low key, like you don't really like know about it.
Yeah.
If you're going in San Francisco, my personal favorite, I love Coffee Movement. Coffee Movement
Okay.
rocks. I'm trying to think. Fuck, I had another really good one for San Francisco. Is it? Hold on. I have my computer in front of me. Let me just double check just
Okay.
before I
Cool.
give you just a made up answer.
This is great.
Um,
This is great.
I
This is all the goods.
St.
Okay.
Frank in San Francisco, also
Okay.
fantastic.
Okay.
So if you're depending on where you are, you got
Mhm.
options. Um, Lunch, if you're in San Jose, I would say go to Falafel Drive-In. That's
Okay.
I would be my number one pick for someone who has never been to San Jose. If you're looking to get some good food, that's like a San Jose staple.
Okay.
That's it. That or I guess you can kind of count this for lunch or dinner. Um, Cali Spartan, the burrito spot.
Okay.
It's it's the best. It's my
Okay.
favorite.
Okay.
It's so
Cool.
good. Sorry, I got one more for
Okay.
the San Jose.
Keep throwing them out, man.
It's my hometown. So I
Hell
couldn't name
yeah.
a million. I can name
Yeah.
a million, but my favorite Vietnamese spot is Pho Mai.
Okay.
It's right on the border of San Jose and Milpitas. It's like East Side San Jose.
Okay.
It's right across the street from another spot that's really good too. But Pho Mai is my personal favorite. Is It's they're open. I think since the pandemic they changed their hours, but at least
Mhm.
originally they were open from 7 a.m. until 3 a.m. Like they were only
Dang,
closed for 4 hours a day, and they did.
damn.
It's one of those places with like a 50-page menu. Like they do
Okay,
fucking everything, and it's
okay,
all really good.
okay.
Um,
That's
let's see.
difficult.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
usually turns me off with some restaurants, depending on like what's going on, you
Yeah.
know? I prefer like a short, like, hey, what are you good at, and just do that.
No,
But
yeah,
well,
generally,
I
yeah.
mean, with Vietnamese, I mean,
Yes.
there's so many
Yeah.
add-ons, so I
And
get it.
it's like so many dishes that mostly contain the same ingredients. It just swapped up.
Right.
Um oh, John has had good pastry. I got you in a good pastry. Another very exclusive spot, but it's in Saratoga, which is near San Jose. They're only open on Saturday mornings. They used to be from 10 until whenever, but now it's 12 to 4.
Hmm.
Only Saturday. It is an all vegan Chinese bakery,
Oh,
and
sick.
it's fucked up good. Like
Yeah.
every time my partner and I go, we spend no joke like $80 on pastries. Like
Oh, hell yeah.
we just stock up for like a week on
Mhm.
just bomb ass vegan pastries. Yeah,
Awesome.
that'd be my spot. Let's see. If you're going in the East Bay, my first spot that I think of is Afghan Burrito.
Okay.
It's a fusion spot. It's exactly what it sounds like. They
Hmm.
also have a vegan burrito.
Hmm.
And their golden burrito is it's I get it with like the mixed meat and the golden sauce that they put in there. It's
Nice.
flavors that are just it's
Yeah.
perfect. It's a
Yeah.
good fucking burrito. That and another fusion spot, Habibi's burrito. Or no, Habibi's birria.
Okay.
That one's in San Leandro. Also just a fucking good burrito.
Nice.
Let's see, San Francisco, um, El Farolito is probably is one of the best burritos in town for sure.
Okay.
I would 100% go there. Beeps Burgers in South City. That place
Nice.
rocks. Sorry to bring it back to coffee. This is in like the San Mateo, South City area.
Hmm.
It's called Dead Eye Coffee, and I
Okay.
started going there recently when I'm in the area, and it's fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic. Got to shout out to Dead Eye.
Cool.
Yeah, that's off the top of my head. That's what I got. I mean,
Awesome. That's a
that's
lot.
my coffee and food
That's a lot to
recommendations.
work with.
Yeah, it all depends on where you are because the Bay Area is so big, and
Mhm.
so it depends on what specific area you're in, and I got
Mhm.
different recommendations for you.
That's awesome. Well, that's great. Thanks for those. That's
Yeah,
great. I'm gonna rewatch this and just take notes. And whenever I'm out there, I'll be like, yeah, Cole sent me. Like, yeah,
yeah, they know me. Come on.
nice, nice. So so now that we're talking food and coffee, like what are your get down snacks? Like what makes Cole happy?
Well, first of all, before I do that, I just saw Reese's. He
Okay,
texted me, and he's also what I wasn't talking about Santa Cruz Reese, but Yon Flower in Santa Cruz, yes, 100%
nice.
is my favorite Chinese. It's my favorite Chinese spot in Santa Cruz, and it's
Okay.
directly across the street from Sabrosa, which is the DIY venue that Scowl was born at,
Oh,
and
nice,
I would get off work and walk down the street to go to shows that every day of the week, and
nice.
yeah, Subversa, thankfully, it's still going strong. It was not killed by the pandemic, but uh, yeah. To answer your question, my get down snacks. Well, are you talking like gas station stuff, like while I'm on tour or what?
Whatever, like
Yeah,
on tour, off tour, when you're home, when you're out, like it's
got
it's
it.
kind of a tradition on my show that to ask people
Yeah,
about snacks because they light the fuck up, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I mean, I'm I snack all day long. Like
Nice.
if on tour and off
Mhm.
tour, I love my snacks. It's bad. I am. I would say I'm primarily like a chip head. Like
Okay.
I love chips. That's like my main vice. Primarily like my top three. I love Takis.
A ton
Um,
chronic, yeah.
Chester's hot fries
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
a salt and vinegar chip. specifically kettle.
Okay.
Um, if I had a special mention though, the Doritos sweet and spicy chili. I think
Those
it's the
are
only
really
vegan
good.
flavor, and I'm not even vegan, but
Hmm.
like it's hands down it's the best flavor.
Okay.
It just is. I, chips is my thing. I love soda too. I'm trying not to be as I try not to drink it as
Yeah.
much. You know, I'll try to go for a sugar free most of the time, like a Coke Zero or
Hmm.
something like that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I'm a soda head.
Yeah.
Realistically, like if I like when I'm on tour, if you were to ask any one of my bands, like some of them will literally follow me in to the liquor store, the gas station, to see
Hmm.
what I'm seeing that they're not seeing, to see what
Hmm.
I'm picking out that they wouldn't think to pick out. Like
Okay.
I I I know what I'm looking for.
Uh-huh.
And I like to try all the weird new flavors of things.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'm I don't know, I can't help it. Like every
Yeah.
time I see Dr. Pepper drop some dumbass new flavor, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh well I gotta try it, you
Yeah.
know?
And you're on
Like
the
that
road
strawberries and cream
too.
one.
And you're on the
Uh,
road too, so you find you're in a different state, you're in a different market.
yeah.
Shit's different everywhere you go, and
Yes.
you're like, I've never seen this Dorito. I mean, I've never seen this flavor of soda. Like all of that.
Yep.
Like different markets have different vibes, and like you touring, like you're gonna find that out. You know?
Yes, not just obviously in America, but also going to like Europe and stuff,
Oh yeah.
and like seeing what they have that we don't. Like
Hmm.
it's it's. I mean, probably my favorite activity on tour is eating things I don't get to eat at home. That's
Okay.
be it actual restaurants
Yeah.
or snacks or regional snacks. You know, like I love it.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, the next time you guys are in Pittsburgh, I want to do the catering. I'll do it for free. Because I
That
have
would
a
be
few bands I took on as client. I call them clients now. Um, I have a handful of them, and it's always exciting because like it's. I mean, I know how hard it is on the road, and
yeah.
no matter what level you're at, like catering and some craft services in some places, and what some places have to offer isn't great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the rare, and especially in America, the rare instance that the show is catered,
Mhm.
or like maybe the venue has like a restaurant attached to it that they're like, oh, you
Yeah.
get 50% off or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's it. It's awesome when it happens, but like when it happens and it's actually good, it's like, all right, this is awesome. Like
Right.
I will say, especially like I mean, America. I mean, as you probably know, like it catering at shows almost never fucking happens. I mean, unless if
Yeah.
you're like a big band, you know, like
Yeah.
the only time in America that we've gotten like consistent catering for shows was when we did the Limp Bizkit run and the A Day to Remember run, and that's because we were playing in places where the crew was working all day long, so
Hmm.
they need to get fed.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense. But Europe, it's like getting it's like a standard. It's like especially in mainland Europe, it's like they cater every single show, and it's a pretty wide.
Yeah.
It's pretty big on like what you can get because sometimes sometimes I'll just order from some local place and it'll be really good.
Hmm.
And sometimes I'll have people working in the kitchen and it'll be really good. And sometimes it'll be either one of those and it is
Yeah.
awful. And I open Uber Eats to see what's near me.
Yeah. Yeah. Uber Eats is always
but
clutch.
but no, next time we're in Pittsburgh, I will be let's make that happen
Oh
because
yeah.
I know none of us are going to be complaining about that.
No. No. And I mean, I do vegan, I do vegetarian, I could do barbecue. Couple of the bands I've done band War on Women, they're vegan, so I always do a full vegan menu for them.
That's
And
awesome.
my buddies in Mastodon, we do steaks and vegan,
Yep.
stuff like that. So
That's
yeah, I
awesome.
want to take you guys on as clients because you deserve it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, and I know everyone else in my crew will appreciate it as well. I mean, Me and a few other people in the bands are like the eaters, you know?
Hmm.
When we when uh when we get into a town and we know that there's a specific place to eat, it's like, all
Hmm.
right, we're gonna set up our stuff and we're gonna dip the fuck out and
Right.
we're gonna go chow down.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's like that's the first thing on our
Yeah.
mind. It's like, will we walk back feeling like shit because of how much we ate?
Yeah.
Sometimes. That's just how it goes sometimes, you know? But it's
Yeah.
like you gotta take advantage. You gotta take advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah, because you might, be driving through nowhere, with just 7-Elevens for, miles for a whole day,
Yep, yep, yep. That in like Safeway or in like Subways at gas stations, and that's Subway is like the only place I will refuse to eat. Like if
Yeah,
it's middle of the night and it's somehow like a 24-hour Subway at a gas station, I'm getting chips.
yeah,
It's just how it
yeah.
goes.
That's. I mean, there's a difference between mystery meat and mystery meat. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? And it's
yep,
like, yeah, Subway's like the bad end of mystery meat. It's one thing to get it off of a food cart and like, like an old lady's cooking and you don't
yeah.
quite know what kind of meat it is, then you're getting some processed pink stuff, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's Subway's legit the one of the only fast food places that has ever made me sick.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm like,
yeah.
nope, don't need to
Yeah,
do that one again.
even the smell of Subway, like it
This
has its own funk.
it does, and it's like triggering at this point. It smells
Yeah.
the same everywhere in the world too. If you
Yeah,
go into
I
a
can
Subway in
imagine.
Europe,
Hmm.
it smells the same, and it's like it like
Ridiculous.
sends shivers down my spine. I
Oh,
hate it.
oh. Well, that's all I got for tonight for you, man. But yeah, once again, dude, I can't thank you enough for jumping on and doing
Yeah,
this episode. Um, I'm so happy for you guys. I want to see so much success for you. And I know it's going to happen because, like I said, you guys got the grit, you have the swag, and you're constantly at it, and there's no steps and skipped. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It is
Thank you.
legit.
It from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate that. Thank you, and thank you for having me on. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad we finally got to do
It is.
this.
It is a lot of fun, man. And like I said, we'll be in touch next time you're in Pittsburgh,
Oh
and
yeah,
we'll plan a menu. We'll do
yeah.
whatever. I'll do Indian, Mexican, Brazilian, whatever you got. Mostly Italian, but I could do Indian and
You're
Mexican and
you're
Brazilian as
speaking my
well.
language across the board.
Yeah,
I'll eat it all.
that's very cool. Very cool. Well, Cole, thank you once again, my friend, and you take care. Send my
Thank you.
love to the rest of the band, and you guys be safe out there with the weather. Hopefully, you don't get that much rain, and hopefully, California doesn't break off into the ocean just yet.
Not yet. Not
We
yet.
need you.
We're
We need you for the arts. We're gonna need you the next
for
four
now.
years. We're gonna need you probably the next 4 years after that to set the tone. Like, just do it.
Yeah, yeah. No, for at least for a little while. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
yeah, yeah. But dude, thank you so much. You
Thank
have a
you.
good evening. Okay,
Yeah.
take
Have a
care,
great
man.
night. You
Bye.
too.